What's up, everybody? I am back with a new movie spoiler review in the theme for Mother's Day month. This one is called The Guilt Trip, starring Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand. Directed by Annie Fletcher, who fairly recently, well, she directed Hocus Pocus 2. She also did Step Up, the 27 Dresses, The Proposal. She has some fairly decent movies in her filmography. It's also written by Dan Fogelman. They also got Adam Scott as Andrew Margolis Jr., Brett Cullen as Benjamin Grawl. Seth Rogen plays Andy Brewster. Barbara Streisand plays Joyce Brewster, the mom. We got Kathy Najimy as Gail, one of the friends of Joyce. And given the fact that this director also had directed Hocus Pocus 2, clearly maintained friendship with Kathy Najimy to, well, I would say maintain, because you have to bring back Kathy Najimy for Hocus Pocus 2. So, like, it's just kind of like a funny coincidence that, this director was, going to direct a famous film that Kathy Najimy has been synonymous with. Anyway, so first things first, we'll pull up the trailer in case you are not familiar with The Guilt Trip. Let's pull it up and see what the trailer was like back then, because I don't even remember. I'd never seen this film before, so it was fairly new to me. I don't even remember what the trailer was.
Andy! Andy!
Hey, Ma.
Oh, my baby!
Hi, good to
Look
see
at
you.
Your hair is so long.
Okay.
You know, Andy invented a new product, and he's going to travel door to door selling it.
Like Avon?
No.
Brushes or something?
No,
Oh.
not even close.
You seeing anyone?
Are you seeing anyone?
Please don't be disgusting. I thought you were seeing that girl with the exotic name.
Bethany? Dad died when I was 8 years old. You haven't been on one date since then.
This is you worrying about me. You don't have to because I'm fine.
Do you want to come on my trip with me, Mom?
You want to drive cross country with me?
Yeah. No, it's, we won't be gone long. It's only 8 days.
I can't wait! Andy, I am so excited. All right, the adventure begins. Promise me you'll never pick up a hitchhiker.
Promise I will never pick up a hitchhiker.
Good. They rape.
They're ready for your presentation.
Oh, fantastic.
Good luck, sweetheart.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Exit highway in 0.5 miles.
What are you doing, Mom? What?
Please turn that off.
Mom, get off the freeway!
Like that?
I think I'm going to drive from now on.
Good idea.
Do you have any rooms available?
Room for you and your lady?
A lady?
Andy, they have clip-on frog earrings.
Oh, dude, don't wink at me. It's my mother. You insane?
Look, there's a restaurant there. Does that say tapas? I love tapas.
That's not what it says, Mom.
Please don't sit near me.
When you were a baby, your penis started to turn purple.
I almost threw up all over the table.
Tell me if your penis started to turn purple again.
My penis could literally grow an eyeball and I wouldn't tell you. Hi.
If you can eat our 50-ounce steak in under an hour, you get it for free.
You know how I can eat.
Is that your mom? I would not lie about that. This week really didn't go how I planned.
I always wanted to see the Grand Canyon.
I know.
How long are we supposed to look at it?
10 minutes? Seems disrespectful to look at it for any less.
But who'll know?
That's a good point.
It was the last time I was ever their daughter.
What a nice chapter.
He's a beautiful writer.
It's okay. I picked up a hitchhiker.
Hi.
Well, I'll give you my number, and you give us a call when you're in town.
Yeah, you guys should probably keep it.
So that was the trailer for the Guilt Trip.
tell you. Hi.
If you can eat our 50-ounce steak in under an hour, you get it for free.
You know how I can eat.
Is that your mom?
I would not lie about that.
This week really didn't go how I planned.
I always wanted to see the Grand Canyon.
I know.
How long are we supposed to look at it?
10 minutes? Seems disrespectful to look at it for any less.
But he'll know.
That's a good point.
It was the
All right, here you go. The guilt trip. It's a fine movie. I think, you know, Seth Rogen came a long way in terms of being a actor, but I don't know. I think the guy in recent years, I think you can argue sometime after Pineapple Express, it was like sometime well after that, where he started becoming like a caricature of himself. I think what kind of really, you know, how, you know, people really took notice is his little cameo-ish appearance in that, what was that, Chippendale, the live-action Chippendale Rescue Rangers film. And that's when a lot of people took notice of that goofy laugh he does. It's kind of like his little, seems like a signature thing he does. But there's like his appearance in the 40-year-old version was one of his earliest films that he guest starred, well, not guest starred, but he had like a supporting role in. And there, I remember distinctly, because I don't know if I was watching CinemaSins or something where somebody you know, showed a clip of him laughing like a normal person. So this whole time he does that stupid laugh. It was not real. There's an entire made up thing. He can laugh like a normal person. So it means he's been annoying people for this whole entire time for no reason. And pretty much gaslit a lot of us thinking like this is like a actual laugh. At most, that's probably his I'm high laugh. And honestly, like, Seth Rogen's been, like, honestly, he's gotten to that point where he's in too much stuff, or he's just inserting himself in things that you don't even think, like, why is he even involved in this? Fairly recently, he was in, like, a latest episode of The Boys. He gets murdered in that pretty quickly, but it's just like, why are you here? I was like, it's just like, he just, it's kind of like what Pedro Pascal is like, why you gotta be in everything or insert yourself in everything? And just like, I don't know, I understand he's making his money, but geez Louise, it's kind of like, you know, like Stan Marsh said to what was that singer from U2? He goes, hello. God, what was that? It's not Sting. Why am my brain saying Sting? That's not Sting. Bono. It's kind of like what Stan Marsh said to Bono in South Park. Can you kind of just fuck off? Like that's what people. Somebody need to say to Pedro Pascal and Seth Rogen. Look, you done a lot. You're kind of sort of a household name. Not kind of sort of. You are pretty much. But at a certain point, can you just kind of like fuck off for a little while? You don't need to be in everything. Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent here, but I'm just, you know, it's kind of venting my little frustrations that I have about Seth Rogen. It's kind of like, you know, not like he's a bad guy, but just certain things, you know, about the person outside of acting. It's kind of like, I don't know, the dude seems weird in a way. Not bad, but he's just kind of like, I don't know, dude. You kind of like drunk the Kool-Aid, and you seem like just like a caricature of yourself that I can't vibe with personally because you seem fake. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Not saying he's a bad dude. I'm just saying like there's like some kind of fake side to it that, you know, that he's kind of adopted over the years, like trying to make sure he's getting more roles as possible by allowing the Hollywood brainwashing. Anyway, I'm not talking about all that stuff, but I picked this movie because if you see the trailer right here, we all have those kind of moms. Just a little while ago, while I was doing my Mortal Kombat 2 review, you know, my mother sitting there like contacted me, and it's kind of like you know, moms love you, but it seems like their love can be a lot. So it's relatable. It's one of those kind of relatable movies because we've all been there. It's not, you know, specifically tied to any Jewish moms or any just like white moms or, you know, Spanish moms or anything like that. No, like this is a universal thing that anybody can understand because we all have mothers, and we all have mothers that definitely can be a lot to take in. They're good in small doses because they're just like, you know, smother you with their love. So Seth plays Andrew or Andy, who is he's a chemist who's trying to sell this cleaning product called SioClean, which most people hate the name. But he's, you know, going across the country trying to, well, he's been going to, you know, certain conventions trying to meet these executives from these different stores. Ironically, one of them was from Kmart, but clearly they're not around anymore, but who would have foresaw that back in 2012 when this movie came out. But he, you know, is a horrible pitch man. He kind of have like a lack of self-confidence in himself. He's not like a showman. He's not like a very people person. Very introverted. Compared to his mom, who's definitely an extrovert. So while visiting her in New Jersey, she reveals to him that he got his name from an ex, I don't even want to call it a boyfriend, but ex-lover of hers that she was messing around with around the same time she was messing around with Andy's father. And of course, the father didn't know anything about this. He ended up proposing to Joyce, but, and this goes into a lot of stuff when I react to videos about these girls ain't loyal, and they always, you know, got some dude waiting in the wing, unbeknownst he's messing around with some other dude. And honestly, I feel bad for the father. I feel bad for Andy because he has to listen to his mom about her fighting around back in the 70s or 80s. And of course, the father, clearly unbeknownst to him, that while he was dating this woman who isn't like preserving herself or isn't like serious about any kind of commitment one way or the other, and she's trying to color her eyes up like, oh, it was a magical, so much passion. No, you were a 304. Sorry, that was just nasty. And like, if the father was alive, I'm pretty sure he would be vomiting right now from anger. Like, he probably, made out with you hours after you probably just finished doing whatever with this other dude, who she reveals that's where he got his name, because she decided to name her son after her ex-lover that did not want to be with her for real, and told her, yeah, you should marry that other guy because I don't feel you like that. So she was heartbroken and decided to go with the guy who proposed and had a life. And it was just like, what? No son realistically can like hear that and not just, I don't even know about upset, but just disgusted. I was like, oh my God, you, and like clearly dad didn't know about this, so he did not know that you wanted to name me. How do you think, how would any guy will react if he found out that, your wife decided to name your kid after an ex-lover? And under no circumstances that'll be acceptable. That ex-lover had better been one of the heroes that brought half the population back from life from the Thanos snap. That's the only way that would be remotely acceptable. They gotta be on that scale of like a hero kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I get it. That is nasty, dude. You're God. And like, I understand, like, a lot of people's moms lived, but there's certain things that A, did not need to be spoken of, and B, clearly doesn't preserve herself at all. Don't know where her father was in this entire scenario. Clearly he didn't keep a tighter leash on his daughter because she's playing both dudes, playing with both dudes' hearts. But clearly she really wanted one other guy who's probably more the bad boy. Because, she should have kept this to the grave. Oh my God, that is nasty. And honestly, it speaks the truth to what the dating pool is like right now, because too many girls out there have like 5, not even just 2, at least in this scenario, even though it's, fictional, had at least 2 dudes she was toying around with. Most girls have at least 5, catering to different scenarios depending on what she needs. That is just disgusting. No girl is like, almost no girl is like truly single, like single for real. They always got some dude waiting in the wings, catering to whatever need she might have. Ugh. Honestly, this is one of the reasons why a lot of women keep their sexcapades to themselves in most cases, unless they go on the internet and start blurring that crap out to the world, like treating social media like their personal diary. You don't know what kind of girl you're messing around with. It's a rarity to come across a woman who respects herself enough, not only some religious stuff, but just by basis of her character, and hopefully being raised by a proper father, would want to preserve her body for a serious relationship, or at the very least a marriage, or at the very least a serious relationship, but at most a marriage. And I have like guys she's toying around with in the neighborhood. Anyway, so Andy, falling stupidly for that whole sad sack of a story about this one true love that one got away crap, and it's like, dude, you are you stupid or something? It's like, after hearing all that stuff, and sure, he just feels bad because his mom is lonely and she can't seem to get a date because she still isn't the same as the father, but because you didn't really love him all that much because you was, waiting. Because if that dude had said yes, you would have thought twice about leaving this dude behind, therefore preventing the existence of your son. You wouldn't have had no mind. You would have paid no mind about that stuff. Oh my God, some women are just like vicious, evil, selfish, definitely. But, his mom is lonely. She can't connect with anybody. So the F what? Like, if that was me, honestly, and most guys, they would, because unlike Andy, who's calling up, trying to find this Andrew guy to see he can rekindle something with his mom. And it's like, why would you want to have some former lover of your mom's trying to rekindle anything? I would leave that old man somewhere, wherever he is, and it's like, no effing way. That would be disrespectful to the memory of your father by encouraging this crap. I don't care how long it's been. He'll be probably way more comfortable if she just finds somebody new and not somebody who she was playing a field with at the same time while messing around with me. And wouldn't even chose me if that guy would have said yes. The dad was the second choice. How do you think that would make a guy feel? So dumb. But anyway, he finds out Andrew is still alive in San Francisco. And since he's already going on like a road trip trying to sell CytoClean to these companies from different states, he decides to convince her to go with him on this road trip under the guise of spending time with her. So they hit the road, and of course she gets annoying. It's typical in these kind of like road trip films where one person seems kind of loud and annoying, can't shut up, while the other guy's kind of an introvert and a little bit of a stick in the mud. And of course, my little issues with the characters aside, Barbra Streisand is really good in this. She definitely got a few laughs out of me. Because clearly Seth Rogen's the straight man in this kind of scenario, which he normally is in most films, playing like the straight man. He has his goofy moments. While on the road to Tennessee, one of the tires got frozen, and a stripper had to come out and help because she's, know a little something about automobiles. But it still need to be towed, because it still need like a ride because the snow falling and it's kind of like crazy. So they happen to be in the neck of the woods of Andrew's former high school girlfriend. So Joyce suggests calling her up because there's no way they'll get a tow truck out there in this kind of weather, and she's nearby, and she probably wouldn't have mind helping out a friend or from her boyfriend, and she's kind of hoping to rekindle something between her son and his high school girlfriend. But unfortunately, not only she showed up with a husband, but she's pregnant. They help them out, and of course it was revealed that the only reason they broke up because Andrew made this big spectacle of a proposal to her in front of like a bunch of students back in high school. She said no. It crushed him. It embarrassed him. So that would explain his aversion to showmanship, because he can't perform it in front of people, because I'm assuming, because it didn't really spell this out here, clearly he's kind of like, it stems from that moment where she kind of made her look stupid in front of everybody by saying no. Now, of course, I understand it was high schoolers. Homos are raging. They don't know how to like vocalize certain things without looking like, you know, a complete a-hole, especially when it comes to high school girls. So she didn't handle it obviously tactfully. She could have at least, hey, say yes in public, so you know, make sure he doesn't feel embarrassed because it's like a big deal. Because clearly y'all was together, but you wasn't really feeling him enough to warrant a marriage. Because I guess you high school, like, you know, you had probably different perspective. You know, you end up turning into a housewife, clearly, you know, pregnant and, you know, living like a nice little home. Could have been Andrew, but you didn't. Could have had this for him, but you didn't pick him. So of course Andrew's feeling like crap, especially since his mom kind of drug that answer out of her. So now he is like stewing, and on to another pitch meeting. She, you know, didn't make herself scarce, so she, you know, just on sheer coincidence, inserted herself in one of the pitch meetings with Costco guy. And because these two were like, you know, debating on how to improve the name of the product, Andrew snaps on the guy, ruins the pitch meeting, and of course later on that night snaps at his mom. And kudos to the writing in this. She didn't just take that in and leave out the room and play this little melodramatic tune to an up-close, in-close shot of his face when a realization, oh my God, I feel like I can heal kind of. No, she, you know, told him off before she left, because no mom will accept that level of disrespect. So later on, Andrew finds her in the nearby bar, trying to get her out, and one old creep tries to still get her more drunk. Andy, who clearly had never been in a fight before, hits like a bitch or slaps the guy, and the guy, you know, punches his lights out, leaving like a bruise on his eye. So they end up going to another state where getting hungry, and of course it's one of those places where like, hey, eat this big steak and your meal is free kind of deal. I always wanted to try one of those things, but it depends if I got if I know this kind of thing coming up and I'm super starving. I would love to try something like that. Don't know if I'll win, but I definitely want to at least try to say I did it. But things like that, you better be on like a freaking empty stomach. Like literally no breakfast or lunch. You was like starving all day. You know, exercising or walking or hiking all day. You have like a crumble of a food to eat. I think that would probably be the best time to do those kind of competitions. Of course, pace yourself kind of thing. That's where Andy and Joyce meet up with this cowboy who is a businessman from New York. Well, he often does business in New York. And he is spitting with the mom. And, of course, the son, playing a good wingman, makes sure like things are moving smoothly. He gets the number to give to Joyce. And they make the way to Las Vegas, where of course, you know, it's where he confesses to her that there's no business in San Francisco. The last stop is in Vegas, but he wanted to, have his mother reconnect with a man that she had feelings for when she was a teenager. It's kind of a weird roller coaster of emotion, because she's clearly pissed off that he lied to her, thinking it was just like a trip between mother and son, but then comes right back after seeing him pitching cycle cleaning to another woman, But inspired by his mom, he decides to, up the showmanship a little bit, talk about family and everything like that. And the pitch worked well. Cycle cleaning is going to be looked into and for a mass production. So now that is out of the way. They make their way to San Francisco to meet up with the former boyfriend. Come to find out that his son is the one that was told about, because he thought he didn't think Andrew had kids. Why would you not? Why would you think that? At no point this man would probably had children. Anyway, so they are sad to find out that 5 years prior, Andrew Sr. passed away. This obviously this hurts for Joyce to learn, and also hurts to learn that he apparently never talked about her. Why would he? You were a fling at most. But then the daughter shows up, clearly named her name is Joyce, which put a little smile on Joyce's face when she come to realize just how much the guy who meant something to her felt the same way on some level, so much so that, like with Joyce naming her son after the lover, he did the exact same thing by naming his only daughter after someone he deeply loved. And like, oh, so you ain't shit either, dude, because why would any woman want her guy naming their any children after a former lover? That is freaking weird. Why would you do that? Why would you accept that? So yeah, it's probably a good idea to keep that to yourself. And my mother is calling me now. God, like, can you at least wait until Mother's Day tomorrow? Anyway, I wanted to end this stream now and call my mom. But leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. Because honestly, this film is my issues aside, this is an alright film. It has a few laughs. It's like, B minus, C plus. It's average. It's fine. But, it just seems like, there's certain things like realistically would not make sense on any level. Joyce and her lover, Andrew, are shit people. And I wish there was some kind of friends that they mutually knew that were straight up just, ratted them out or something like that. Just to get their comeuppance. Because that's stupid. Why would you do that? No rational person would ever do that. It's disgusting. Especially a guy who clearly, Andrew was pretty much like a playboy who was, just digging Joyce's guts out. That was it. Didn't seem any, because like, if you're willing to do it, clearly, because his mindset was like, okay, if you're clearly to do all this stuff for me, when you have a whole boyfriend that just proposed to you, clearly playing us both or something, you're probably not a good fit for a wife. So yeah, you're just a fun time, not a long time, and that should have been the case. I don't know why, because a lot of these girls nowadays had that dumb mindset. Oh my God, the passion was real. No, he just knew how to work your emotions, because bad boys tend to do. That's probably the most time they do out of the day is learn how to work a girl's emotions so she can fall head over her heels and thinking this romance of the ages. But no, you're just a jump off. Joyce was just a jump off. Oh God, it's so dumb. Anyway, I will see you guys in a little bit because I gotta review Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you've seen The Guilt Trip, what are your thoughts? And I'll see you all later.